dehydrate whole peppers just like these? Absolutely you can, and I'm going to show you how, coming up next. Hi everybody, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. My name is Sarah from Living Traditions Homestead. And if you've been following us for any time at all, you know that we had a really great garden this year. And I have been harvesting peppers all of this time, and most of them I've been dehydrating. So today I figured while I have the chance, I want to show you guys how you can dehydrate peppers whole, just like this. Now, why on earth would you want to dehydrate them whole? Well, in my experience, dehydrating them whole is very fast. It doesn't take much prep work at all. I don't have to worry about getting out my gloves when I'm cutting them into pieces. And I don't have to worry about seeds flying everywhere as I'm cutting them up and getting all over the inside of the dehydrator. And actually, there are other things that I'm going to do with some of these peppers, and I'm going to want them whole rather than cut up into little pieces. So I want to just talk with you a little bit about the peppers that I'm going to be putting into the dehydrator today. We grew several different types of peppers this year. Most of them I'm going to be using in some sort of spice mixture in powder form. So that's why I'm going to be dehydrating most of these. These green peppers, you'll notice that all except for these green peppers on the table are red. I prefer to let them get to the red state because they are sweeter and they have a lot nicer flavor. But these green peppers are poblano peppers. These are actually small for poblano peppers. I let them generally get a lot bigger than this before I harvest them. But the end of the year was coming, and so was the frost, so I had to just pick everything I had. Poblano peppers, when you dry them, are actually called ancho chilies. It is one of the primary ingredients in chili powder. We go through a lot of chili powder. I make chili a lot, but it's also in a lot of my recipes. So I'm going to be dehydrating these, and I have a bunch already dehydrated, and then I will grind them up into a powder and make my own chili powder. These red peppers over here, they look kind of like strange looking just red peppers. They're actually a special kind of pepper called sheep nose pimento. I'm going to be using this as a sweet paprika. All of the paprika peppers come from Turkey, and in Turkey and in Europe, most of paprika is spicy, but here in the US, most of us like a sweet paprika, and there are only a couple kinds of peppers that are sweet paprika specific. So this is actually a pimento pepper. I was not able to get the sweet paprika seeds. I'm still looking for them. So this is what's going to be my substitute. We use a lot of paprika in general. We also use it in chili powder. Over here is actually one of the paprika peppers, but it's a spicy paprika pepper. I will be dehydrating these to just add a little kick to some things. Some of these pimento peppers, which I will be using as paprika, I'm going to smoke some of these after they're dehydrated to have smoked paprika. Many of you may recognize these red peppers. These are cayenne peppers. I grew a ton of these and dehydrated most of them. I'll be adding those to a lot of my spice mixtures, but you can also use these to make what's called fire cider, which is a medicinal drink, and you can also make it into a syrup to help combat the flu and colds and those kinds of things. So I'll be using these medicinally as well as in our cooking. And the last pepper that I'm going to be drying today, these are just jalapeno peppers that I have let mature completely on the plant. They're red. I'm going to be drying these whole, and then most of them are going to be smoked so that I can then use them as chipotle peppers. Chipotle peppers are really red jalapenos that have been dried and smoked. So that's what we're going to use most of these for. Now, when you're drying whole peppers, the thing to remember is that you will find the most success drying them whole if they are thin-walled chili peppers. So all of the peppers here, except for the sheep nose pimentos, are considered thin-walled peppers. And that just means that the wall of their flesh is very thin, so it will dehydrate quickly, okay? But a green pepper or a red bell pepper, you know that when you cut into one of those, the flesh is really thick. So those will not work well for dehydrating whole. Now these sheep-nosed pimentos are considered a thick wall pepper, so I'm going to show you a trick how to dehydrate these where they're still pretty much whole, so you won't have to do a lot of chopping. Okay, so why the dehydrator rather than stringing them up all in a string and hanging them all over the place? Well, honestly, I could do that with all of these, and I have done that before, but the honest truth is time. This is very fast. I can throw them in here, and in 2 days or less they'll be completely done. Stringing them up is very time intensive, and it takes a long time to dry out. If you don't have a warm, dry atmosphere to dry those peppers in, they will most likely mold. Here in Missouri at this time of the year, it is cool. In the summer, it is humid. So that is why I choose to use the dehydrator rather than hanging them up on strings. Okay, so now is the easy part, and I'm excited to show you just how easy it is to dehydrate whole peppers. Okay, so there's just very few things that you need. You really don't need a cutting board, except we're going to be using those on these pimento peppers, but really you need a scissors and a sharp knife. So all of these are going to be treated the same, except for the pimento peppers. We're just going to chop off the stems, and only because we're going to save room in the dehydrator. I just want to tack that as full as I can. And then over several areas in this pepper, we're just going to stab holes in it with a sharp knife. I normally do it anywhere from 4 to 6 times. Just stab it, and then we're going to put it just right on the tray of the dehydrator. Just whole. Just put them on there just like that. Easy peasy. Okay, now these poblano peppers, which will be called ancho chilies when they're dry, a lot of times, especially the bigger ones, they are going to prevent your next rack from touching. And it looks pretty crazy at first, but I'll tell you that I'm not even kidding you, I just stack them up there and I put this on here, and if it's sticking up like that, I just turn the dehydrator on anyway, and within about 6 hours or so, they have dehydrated enough that the shelves just contract, and they're just the way they should be, okay? So don't worry about that. It's gonna look wonky, it's gonna look totally weird, but it'll work. After time, it'll all smash down to the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so I am just gonna do the same thing with all of these peppers. I'm just gonna trim off their stems, and I'm gonna just poke holes in them and put them in the dehydrator. So I'm gonna work on that and get things filled up for you. Okay, so how about these sheep-nosed pimentos? What are we gonna do? Well, like I said, they're not considered a thin-walled pepper, they're thick-walled. So the easiest thing that I have found, and which is also very effective in the drying process, in the dehydrating process, is to just cut them in half. Super easy. Just cut them in half. You can see how gorgeous they are. Hopefully you can see how gorgeous that is. They are nice and thick-walled. The seeds look beautiful. It's just a really gorgeous color, just a gorgeous overall pepper. Cut it in half this way. Stick them on there. Seriously, that's it. So within a matter of minutes, you can do like an whole table full of peppers, as long as you have enough trays for them. And I just dehydrate them. My dehydrator, I just bought this year. We had an old one that Kevin had in high school. We've been using that forever. And I just decided we needed an upgrade. Got this dehydrator. It's Presto food dehydrator. It doesn't even have like a temperature gauge. It just is on or off, and it works fantastically. These will dry in about a day and a half, and I end up turning each one of the peppers over at least once, sometimes twice, just to make sure that both sides are getting dry. And I also move around the racks. So the one that starts out on the bottom, I end up turning and being on the top and just kind of mixing them all around, just so that they each are getting, you know, the same kind of heat and airflow and that kind of thing. But I'm going to keep working on these guys. I'm going to turn it on and get dehydrating, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what they look like when they're all done. Okay guys, well, it's been about a day and a half, and I wanted to check in with you and show you how these peppers turned out after being on the dehydrator. So now they look absolutely beautiful. We've got the poblano peppers. Now all of them are really, they're light, they're you know, crispy sounding. A lot of them you can hear their seeds inside rattling. They're not like leathery or anything like that. So I know that they're done. I can't press in on them. There's no give. And so I know that they're crunchy. They're done. But they are absolutely gorgeous. All of them, the red color is so beautiful. The surprising thing to me is that the green poblano peppers turn kind of brown. I don't know, it's just kind of amazing. All of this is just absolutely amazing. They're all absolutely beautiful. I'm super excited. So after you dry them all, it's important for you to keep them in an airtight container. I just use canning jars because I have zillions of these, and I hate creating garbage. I don't like using plastic if I absolutely don't have to. And then if you have a vacuum sealing contraption, you can put the little seal thing on top of here with the lid and vacuum seal, take the air out, and then put your ring on there, and then that keeps it super, super fresh for a really, really long time. I haven't done that to these. I may do that, but I plan on using all of this stuff, so I'll be in and out of it a lot, hopefully. Yes, you can dehydrate whole peppers, and it's quick, it's super easy, and it's very rewarding. Gets them to a point that you can do tons of things with them. So you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about this. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button below. We've got tons of things going on all the time, and we have a lot of fun things planned for the future. If you have questions about this or about us in general or about our homestead, go ahead and leave those questions and your comments in the comment section below. And don't forget, before you go, to give us a thumbs up because you liked this video. Until next time, you guys, thanks for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.